Welcome to the best of the Chris Vernon Show, presented by Direct Auto Insurance from the American Home Shield Studio inside FedEx Forum. To watch the live show daily at noon or on demand, head over to grindcitymedia.com or Grind City Media on YouTube. Now, let's take a look back at some of the best moments of the week.
Number 1, The Last Dance. All right, so we had episodes 9 and 10 last night. As it ended last night, I just sat there in my chair and I was like, man, now what? I guess I'll watch something about Lance Armstrong or whatever they're putting out next, right? I got excited about that Bruce Lee documentary. That one looked cool when they ran the thing for that. But this has just now become a massive part of what I've looked forward to every weekend for the last, over a month now. And episodes 9 and 10 were last night. I said last week, it can be very, very hard to top 7 and 8 in terms of how good. I thought it just progressively got better. I thought the second week, which is 3 and 4, was down from week 1, but then the third week, the third installment, which were 5 and 6, were unbelievable. 7 and 8 were off the charts, amazing. And then 9 and 10, it was good. I didn't think it was blow me away good. 7 and 8 were still the night where I was done with it, and I'm like, my God, this is the greatest thing ever. And then it was pretty good last night. I mean, they pretty well covered. They didn't go back in time all that much. I did love some of the stories. I did love some of the things that I learned. But in terms of just pure enjoyment and wow, I can't believe what I just saw. Like 7 and 8 were, to me, the pinnacle of it. And it was all great. Like, don't get me wrong. I loved every bit of it. And if they put out 60,000 more episodes of it, I would watch all 60,000. So it's all on you got to understand the scale here, right? Like, I'm grading it amongst itself. But it was good. I mean, they covered really 97 and 98 last night. And it did, they had to really amp up everything to even get this done in the time to be able to put it out.
A big thing,
and so I think we probably get a lot different episodes. That's how I felt after I got done. Like, I bet we get a lot different episodes 9 and 10 if this didn't have to be all the way moved up, right? But you're getting – the storytelling was still great, but I don't know. Like, at the very end of it, I wasn't like, this whole thing is wrapped up and I feel like – I don't know. I wanted more. I wanted more. But all in all, absolutely amazing. We did cover 97 and 98. We did cover the flu game. And then we got some more personal stories that were really, really good. But I do have a few issues. We're going to get to favorite parts first. So number 2, your favorite parts, and I'm going to let you guys hit them. All right, Devin, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start it. My first favorite part of last night was Dennis Rodman. I know this documentary is about, I was going to say LeBron James, Michael Jordan being kind of entrenched in, like, being the GOAT, all that kind of stuff. But for me, I love Dennis Rodman. He's one of my top 10 favorite basketball players now because the dude left the NBA Finals to go join the NWO, and that is one of the dopest things. And his quote was, I just want to play basketball, party,
don't say the rest,
and bleep girls.
You love Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman's he's a fantastic.
I mean, I can't.
Like, as a personality, or like you want him like
just the whole thing is just impossible to believe
exactly.
It happened. It truly.
Like leaving
in the middle of the NBA Finals. I mean, can you imagine if like Klay Thompson showed up at wrestling and then the next day wasn't at practice? It's so outrageous.
It was a big deal when before an NFL playoff game, the week before the playoff game, Odell Beckham Jr. went to Miami.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
This
is the week before.
During the week off.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that he was like,
unrepentant.
I know my job. Like, I'm just going to rebound, block shots. Let me go be Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
And that Phil Jackson has to be the coolest coach ever because he knew,
yes,
got to let Dennis be Dennis.
No,
Yes.
the part about that was crazy was that you saw Michael Jordan be so hard on, Pharrell and Pippen and whoever. And then, Rodman comes back and he's like, yeah, but he got a good chunk of change. Like he knew that like Rodman just needed to have a little
just
like
gonna
a softer
be there,
touch,
and he'll be
like,
there when the lights come on.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
My next one is the pizza poisoning twirls. The flu game is all a joke to me now. It's
Can't
all
call it
it
that.
is not the same. It doesn't hit the same anymore. Like as for me as a kid, I was like, oh man. Even like the conspiracy theories, like he was hungover, he was this, he was that, but it's still like it didn't hit me until last night when I saw like him tell the story of he ordered a pizza, 5 guys brought the pizza, he ate the pizza, and he was sick.
Someone had a bad feeling
Someone
about it
had-
and didn't say anything.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, the flu games are like an iconic shoe, but now they're not that iconic anymore. So that hurt my feelings.
This one cuts to your core because you and I have had
hit me,
big fights
man.
about this.
No, so okay. Wait, I thought it was kind of known that he had food poisoning.
I didn't know the bad
Because
I didn't know the
isn't he,
pizza
like we've all
situation.
had the flu before, right? Dude, you don't get over the flu in a day. Like the flu is something that
It's a
stays
24-hour
with
flu.
the flu stays with you. If you
Hold
got
on
the
now.
flu,
Don't
the flu
you
stays
don't
with
you
for
act
like
like
4
you
or 5
did food
days.
poisoning because you and I got in a huge argument when Steve Nash played with one eye. And you were like, you've never had the flu. The flu is the
Oh,
worst
I do
thing.
remember this
So
argument.
don't act like you knew it was food
The
poisoning.
food poisoning, it's the same thing. The flu just lasts longer than food poisoning does. Food poisoning is typically, it's a 24-hour thing. It's out your system. But, you got the runs, you're throwing up. Like, the flu gives you all that, too. The flu just lasts longer than food poisoning does.
The question
Like,
is, do you buy the whole food poisoning even?
That's
There's
where
still
it
people that
is.
think you just hung over.
Yeah, did he leave out
Yeah.
the part where he was like drinking alcohol while he was eating the pizza?
Yeah, because I'm
leave
wondering.
that part out.
Yeah, because I wondered that, too. I'm like, first of all, it's
bad
like, if it's
hangover.
like,
That's not like one beer
But if
with
it's
a
like,
pizza.
but if it's also like it's like 10:30
Henny?
at night, the day before a game, 10:30 at night. Like, I mean, this is the same guy who went to Atlantic City during a playoff series. So, I mean, I'm wondering. I'm like, wait, why do you have like 5 of your friends in a hotel room with you at this late at night?
Exactly.
But I mean, he went to Atlantic City one
Well,
night.
the other
during
thing is
playoff
they
series.
present it as food poisoning, as if to say 5 guys showed up when and the pizza had been tampered with.
Yeah.
Which is more likely, that the pizza had been tampered with, or that 5 guys found out that Michael Jordan ordered a pizza, and so they all want to go? You know what I'm saying?
Or that
like
he orders
that,
a
that
pizza.
seems like totally. People that work at pizza places are typically right in the age range that it would be the
Yeah.
biggest thing ever.
You're in college.
If you found out somebody was delivering a pizza to Michael Jordan, you just would want a peek of him.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily buy that some, dubious pizza place in Utah intentionally poisoned the pizza, and the fact that nobody else in the entire room ate a piece of pizza.
That's what I'm saying. If I bring a pizza,
Have
in
you
here,
ever been?
Everybody's gonna
Have
eat
you
some.
ever ordered a pizza and eaten the entire pizza by yourself in front of a group of friends?
No.
Like that's
No.
without somebody else eating a piece.
We're also not Michael Jordan. Like, could I
That's-
see
I
him
was gonna
being
say
like,
that, yeah.
no,
Yeah, that's
not
also
offering
true.
that pizza to anybody?
Oh
Yeah.
well, you know what
Well,
the,
because if you
know
if
what the
you've got-
director says, the reason nobody ate it is because he spit on it.
yeah, the whole thing.
He
I saw
actually
that.
spit on his food.
So nobody asked.
So
for
nobody.
said-
would-
I saw that too. He
mean,
spit on the whole
that's-
thing.
Yeah. The other thing too is
Start
like wait,
doing that to my girlfriend. She'd be
and
mad as
here,
hell.
here would be the other thing too. So it's like him and like there's like 5 or 6 people in the room total, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are going to share, you get more than one pizza.
Maybe
Like
it's
I've
funny.
never seen if it's like 5 or 6 of you're going to order one pizza for 5 or 6 people. Like that also ain't
I
happening.
do kind of resent for 20 years allowing it to be the flu game. You know what I mean?
It sounds cooler. That's like Nike doing their marketing.
And then just not telling anybody,
Not telling anybody that it was actually.
wasn't the flu.
Food poisoning game.
Yeah,
sounds stupid.
I always thought we knew it was food poisoning. I thought that was kind of known.
I think
that
it was
food
is it Nike the
poisoning,
one that
though.
spun everything?
This is worse revisionist history than Jordan. He argued with me over Steve Nash playing with the one eye than the Michael Jordan playing with the flu because the flu was the worst thing that you could possibly have.
Dude, playing with food poisoning is freaking awful too.
Like not worse
all
than
the-
playing with one eyeball. Steve Nash was playing with one eye.
Didn't Allen Iverson play with
It
like
is
broken
worse.
ribs and stuff too?
Huh?
Didn't he?
Mike Conley played a whole season with a torn Achilles.
Hey man.
And then tried to play the next season with it.
Yeah.
And it finally got him.
All right,
All right,
what
my-
other favorite
My
part?
next one is it kind of taps into what we all do is just having personal relationships with people. In his relationship with Gus, the security guard,
Okay,
how Gus met him when he was a
now
rookie.
this was one of my issues. What happened?
What happened to Gus?
There was no.
Yeah, they did like leave.
There
it
was
there.
no closure to
They
that.
did like leave it there. Yeah.
He showed up.
I'm assuming I'm assuming he died.
Of course he died.
Yeah.
But what happened? Was he there after they won the title in '98? Like what? It just there was no closure to it.
This might have been part of the issue with them rushing things and getting the last couple of them done.
I just felt like they introduced him. We knew he was battling cancer, and then it was like the only part we saw him again was when he returned for that huge game.
Yeah, we found out Jordan paid for all of his medical bills and
maybe
everything
that's
like
it.
that.
Like if they finished these episodes like last week, maybe they just couldn't get like his family or whatever.
The other thing is Jordan never talked about him. Really.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
They didn't get him on camera.
Like the whole
talking about
father
him.
figure thing,
Yeah.
and like he didn't really talk about that. I thought that was strange.
Oh,
I don't
someone
know.
in the chat said there was a shot of him there when they won.
Yeah, no, there was a shot of him, but I mean they never really revisited what happened with Gus. How long did he make it? When did he pass away? How much did that? If was it crushing that here's a second father figure that you had that was gone by the wayside. So I don't know. I didn't feel like they put a bow on that.
It did feel like there's a lot they kind of left out there in that episode because if you do. It did feel like the end of the final episode, it felt like it was rushing to get through, whether it's Reinsdorf commenting, Jordan saying, yeah, we all want to come back for 7, the parade, all that. It did felt like that was really rushed.
They also didn't have much from the Utah side.
No.
It's just John Stockton.
Well, they said Malone and Russell refused.
Right.
Yeah, would not be interviewed.
And I'm sure Jerry Sloan did too. And I mean, I get that a lot of them, didn't speak, but I mean, we didn't really get any kind of insight on. John Stockton is the most boring person on earth.
He is.
Truly.
He is
So,
Utah
I mean,
to
when
the
that
core.
is your only interview subject, and it's him saying he wasn't scared of Michael Jordan, great. Like, Reggie Miller added real depth to that whole storyline against Indiana. I felt like the Utah side was.
Well, Reggie Miller's a charismatic.
I get it.
Yeah,
but it just made it intensely bland, which is.
Utah.
Yes.
As Utah.
Oh, man, I got mad respect for John Stockton. Shout out to John Stockton. Little
outta
white
here.
guy, man. John Stockton is the dude who would show up to the park to play a pickup game, and he'd be picked dead last, and he'd come out there and ball on everyone.
That's true, but he's a very boring person.
He's also yes.
He's boring.
I mean, he's from the Pacific Northwest and went to Gonzaga. Like,
But yeah,
and played for the Utah Jazz.
For
Of
them,
course
for
he's
me, that was
boring.
that was something that we look at because in this business you kind of meet people as you go along.
Yeah.
And that's how you build a relationship and you end
That's
up.
right. And so
stuff like
Gus was, as somebody.
Like,
that-
all the ushers
Are
from
you-
like
Devin,
where you come into.
Are you trying to be Jaren's Gus?
No, I'm 5'7".
You trying to be Jaren's Gus?
You can't protect anybody.
Yeah, I can.
You can't protect yourself. You're scared of a guy at a clothes store. Was it American Apparel or what it was?
Urban Outfitters.
Urban Outfitters, whatever.
He was about to kill me, man.
He was not.
None of it.
He wasn't
he was
even
gonna-
threatening.
in an Urban Outfitters
Yes.
store.
He was very threatening.
He's just taking creepy pictures.
He was
of
just
his
taking
girlfriend.
pictures of his girlfriend in the store.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
And then he raced away in his car. The guy didn't even wasn't chasing him or
So
anything.
nothing happened.
No, nothing happened.
nothing happened. Nothing happened.
And of
Close
course-
call.
And he didn't even confront him.
Look, Kelcey, if you saw this guy,
It was Devin who actually ran away in his
Look,
car and he left his girlfriend there.
gold
too.
gold teeth, big guy. I was like, nah, I know my battles. You pick your battles right.
But he
All
didn't
right,
say
get-
anything.
get to the-
Okay, sorry.
Get
Yeah,
the rest of your
he
good
knows
part.
better.
Good part.
He knows better.
My last one is Steve Kerr. It was kind of heartbreaking to see the situation with his dad and stuff like that, but it kind of puts in perspective why he is so against gun violence.
Right.
But also, it fast forwarded to the part where he won the championship, and this my guy was at the freaking parade with a championship T-shirt on and the John Roser pleated khaki shorts.
That's right. Hey, and I'll tell you this.
I
To
was so
this
happy.
day, he still holds the finals record for best three-point percentage
Wow.
Really?
in NBA Finals. Yes.
Jeez.
That's crazy. So yeah, shout out Steve Kerr.
He's the best three-point shooter in finals history. It's true.
That's crazy.
I mean, he had a role. And I thought it was mega fascinating when he was talking about the pressure that there is when you're only taking 5, 6 shots as a role
Yeah.
player. And that whole thing about him with Arizona. And then, and obviously with his father passing in the manner that he did, but just that he kind of worked his way up from Arizona all the way to become what he became. And he wasn't a highly recruited player by any means. I would have thought he was a J.J. Redick, type sharpshooter that a bunch of schools wanted.
Yeah.
But
He was a flimsy white
obviously
kid.
was not so. All right, Kelcey, what'd you like the most?
Can I add something to this one?
Yeah.
The Steve Kerr whole thing, like I liked seeing kind of that storyline of fathers come back, like we saw it with Michael Jordan earlier, and like so Steve Kerr, like they talked about how like you couldn't, break down that wall of Jordan. He lived, like a different life or whatever, but like it's crazy to me because I've had teammates like all, growing up throughout college, and to have someone who's like literally been through the same thing as you, like both your dads
Crazy,
were murdered,
right?
and you don't bond over that. It's like blows my mind.
He
Like,
just said the hurt was too great. I think neither of them wanted
Yeah.
to talk about it,
I totally get that. It's just like I don't know,
It
because
is
your
crazy
teammates are
that
the
they
closest
both-
people to
yes.
you. Like it's crazy
Yeah.
that like I don't know. Anyway,
We
that
also
wasn't
saw
one of my
Jordan-
favorite parts.
Also
but
saw Jordan's kids. I forget about that part.
we saw Jordan's kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice for them to show up at the last episode. Remember I told you about his family? It's like he wasn't ever married. He didn't have kids. Like, it's just bizarre. He had a daughter in there.
Yeah.
He kept that private.
You ain't lying.
What's that Drake line?
Which one?
No,
I'm hiding a child. Let that girl come home.
That's actually a Pusha
no,
T song.
Yeah.
no, the other one.
Oh.
I'm gonna go. Okay. Hiding my kid from the world, not the other way around.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. My bad.
It's Monday. Okay, number one.
You should look.
I felt like
It's a Grizzlies.
Yeah, that's pretty- Where'd you get that?
It looks like a Grizzlies Bible.
Yeah, where'd you get
The Bible of Grizz.
it's usually on my laptop, but I had to put my laptop to IT.
She opened up to Zebo chapter 2, verses
Gospel
4
of
through
Zebo.
7.
You guys don't think it's cute?
Yes, I like it.
pretty
Where'd
cool.
you get that?
Oh, remember that panel thing we did with sponsorship? They were
Yeah.
giving them out, and I stole
Why did
one.
I get one?
I had to steal it. They
No.
said no, and I just took it.
You just snitched on yourself.
No.
Then why even ask? She's just going to take
She
it
said, "Can I
anyway."
have one?" They said no, and I just took it. All right.
Okay. I liked that Scottie Pippen got a little bit of redemption in these last ones because the whole like migraine thing, like I saw you tweet about it, the whole migraine thing, like blah, blah, blah. And then he finally like, he's playing 5 minutes, getting rehab for another 5 minutes. It's finally like, okay, maybe he's not as soft as
Oh.
we initially
Do we want
were
to take a
led to
20-second
believe.
timeout for Roser's sermon on back pain?
Yeah, I was going to say, shout out to Scottie Pippen. Anybody knows back pain, it's Johnny Backpool right here. I know all about it. Shout out to Scottie Pippen.
So I like to
Was
see
that more impressive? Which was more impressive? Him playing through back pain or food poisoning?
Oh, back pain. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about back pain's more impressive than Steve Nash with one eye. At least you still have your back, you still have your legs. Dude, you don't have your back, like, everything.
All right.
Everything hurts.
All right. What
I'm
else?
glad that we
Kelsey?
got those ranked. That was
We got ranked
that
that.
was
We needed
important. Ooh. Okay, first of all, throughout the entire documentary, I thought they used the iPad like really well. Like
Yes.
every time he had the iPad, I was like ready to go. Like I can't wait to see his reaction. So I think watching him, the whole like Reggie thing, it was cool to see that he like still wanted a piece of him. Like he still like wanted to like, but it was like different than the way he like laughed at Isaiah. You know what I mean? Like it was
Right.
like he had that like weird respect for like the Pacers and for Reggie Miller, and like I just enjoyed that part.
That had never been a device that I had seen in a documentary where you take the subject and you let him see what other people say and then you get the reaction. That was
Wasn't it great?
brilliant.
Yeah. Mhm.
People will steal that.
He also like touched it
Guaranteed.
like an old person. He
That
did.
will be a documentary device that is used, you know.
It's so good to see their
It's
reaction.
amazing. It creates amazing moments for sure. I agree with you.
I feel like they should have had a chance at 7, but are we going to talk about that later?
Yes.
Okay, I'll ignore that. Michael Jordan piano was just kind of like cool and funny to me. Like, I don't know. There's
was
nothing
great.
really there. I just enjoyed that
in his
part.
game shorts.
Yeah, like that was just cool. And then my very last one was that the last montage was good. That's all I have.
Last montage
Yeah,
was
it was just good.
Amazing. Pearl Jam song in the background was good too.
Present tense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out of
Good
nowhere.
song. All right.
So I actually did this different last night. I never watched episode 8. So I
Oh,
made
yeah.
it a point to, I was like, I'm going to do episode 8, then 9, then 10.
Okay.
But
Look
do
at
it all
you.
in one night so I get 3 hours. Anyways, we did that episode 8 last week. But so episode 9, Pacers got to bring back those jerseys from the 80s.
Yeah, all the pinstripe jerseys need to come
Agreed.
back.
No,
All
not
of
the
them.
pinstripe from the 80s, not the 90s. The ones from the 80s, the blue when Reggie Miller first came in the league.
Yeah.
And they did the
Wait.
story where he started talking trash to Jordan.
Royal
and it was-
blue.
Yeah, the
I had
royal
pinstripe
blue ones.
jerseys
Yeah.
in college. We hated them.
But dude, I forgot how awesome that Indiana team was. Like they were that Pacers team. They got the Davis brother, the Davis dude, Dale Davis, Antonio Davis, the Dunking Dutchman, Mark Jackson, Jalen Rose, Reggie. I mean, that team was awesome and very rightfully so. Could have won a championship. They were incredible. How Brian Russell made Jordan's list.
Yes.
How
amazing.
he made the list, how he made Jordan's list is incredible. Just like, why'd you quit?
Yeah.
Why'd you quit? You know I can guard you or whatever. Jordan's like, looking at Stockton, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? It's like, he's just a rookie. In the 97 finals, I forgot about that pass that Stockton made all the way down. I mean, that pass was unbelievable.
Crazy.
That full court pass, just the heave of one hand. I mean, that's ridiculous for a small guy to make that pass.
75
right there.
feet.
To put,
Outrageous.
right over the top of two Bulls defenders into Malone's hands is ridiculous. For the flu game, would an NBA team, would they ever stay in a hotel right now that doesn't have 24-hour room service? Because that was the thing. He didn't have there was not room service.
No, it
I
doesn't
mean, hell,
exist.
you got milk and cookies at 1 a.m.
That's
at
right.
All-Star
Yeah.
Weekend.
It was
that's
a
right.
different time.
Yeah,
time.
like, but that just that
They
that
also had
did strike me.
smoking floors.
They
Yeah,
also let
they
5
had-
people go up to Michael Jordan's room. You think that would ever happen now?
Right. Well, a lot of players, they also now these days they don't use their real names when they check into these hotels.
Right.
Yeah, they have fake names.
Well, trust me when I tell you, Michael Jordan didn't either.
Yeah. The Gus thing, his security team, like those guys, like, dude, he took care of those guys
Everywhere they
and
went.
he was loyal as
Yeah.
could be to those guys. Like, it was one of those things. If you were with him, he was with you, and he rode with you, and he took care of you however he could. It is crazy because I had someone text me and they were like, "That Jazz team deserved to win a championship," and I'm like, "It is." Think about it. In Stockton hits that three to go up 86-83 with 41 seconds left. And then Jordan comes down, gets the lay-in, and then he comes and strips Karl Malone, and then he goes and hits the shot, and everything else is history. But it's like, how is John Stockton remembered if that shot wins them game? If anything that happened, if that John Stockton that three wins them game 6, and they go on and win game 7.
You sound like a John Stockton
It
stand to
is.
me.
John Stockton deserves more respect. Than
What
he
you
gets.
what you now though have started to understand through 10 episodes of this is that every single player for a 15-year span
Yes.
has the same story.
Yes, they all do.
What if Craig Elo would have hit the game-winning shot if he didn't hit it, and Karl Malone would have a ring if he didn't hit it, and Reggie Miller, if they win a jump ball, that
Yeah.
was his thing, right? Charles Smith, had 6 cracks at it
Yeah.
for the Knicks, and I mean, like, at some point you start to realize, like, every single person
Yeah.
What if,
has a
what if,
story
what if.
of what if, and it never comes out on their side.
Yep.
And that's why one of the trivia questions last
built
night
different.
that they don't do the job of making you wait for through the
Yes.
commercial break. They just go ahead and tell you 2 seconds later
You-
why they eliminated more 60-win teams in the playoffs than any team in NBA history. Those
Yeah.
Bulls teams did. And that's why, he's the reason. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't talk about
They were
that one.
acting like
Baby
they were
Leo.
boys. Like, this is what, right after Titanic?
Yeah.
No, it
Right
was
at-
the
It was
Iron
98.
Fist.
Man with the Iron
Mask,
Mask.
but Titanic came out right before that.
He
Titanic
quoted that Leo movie.
Yeah, he quoted that movie, but like Titanic had already been out, so he was at this point
man.
a mega star.
Yeah.
That started it. Jordan's car choices, man. The Range Rover I get, but being 6'6" and driving like a Porsche, a Ferrari, I'm like, dude, that would be a pain to get in and out of that thing.
Like they're not custom.
Yeah, come on now,
I
Razor.
know, but that's still you're still low to the ground, and to get out of that thing, you gotta like that. gotta be riding the SUVs if you're
I thought you were
MJ.
gonna say the license plate. You thought about the car.
Air.
Yeah, air. Having
Wait,
a license
just because
plate
he's
that said
tall,
air.
he can't drive like a sports car?
I mean, you can, but I think it'd be rather uncomfortable. Like getting in and out of that thing, I think that'd be very uncomfortable.
Man,
Things he thinks about. Is
Yeah,
just
man.
Bizarre.
it's so funny.
Why I still wear long shorts? I'm
All right.
about the comfort.
All right, let me tell you something. One thing that was about that Utah series that I I guess I remember knowing at some point, but as I'm watching it last night, my son was actually watching it with me. And he said, when they flashed up on the screen, he said, they scored 54 points.
Yeah.
And I was like, they scored 50. He's like, how? Like, how is, like, I mean, I almost do want to go watch that. How is it possible that a team scored 54 points in an NBA Finals game?
What was the shot clock back then?
24.
24.
It was the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, how about that? No one had scored that low without a shot clock. I don't think is what Bob Costa said. Like, it was like the lowest scoring ever.
Kelcey, you're trying to make Chris and I feel like we're like 70 years old back then.
How long
Was there a
the
3-point
shot
line
clock?
back then?
I found the
Did
box
they
score.
play with a peach basket?
Yeah.
14 points, 17 points, 14 points. In the fourth quarter, they scored 9 points.
It's unbelievable.
12
Is that
How
really?
about all right, that is more stunning than the 54. The 9-point fourth quarter, you're getting your ass kicked, and you still only scored 9.
What was it?
Yeah,
9
right.
How, like, certainly somebody's going to let off the
9-25.
gas.
There's got to be some
They
garbage
kept kicking their
time.
ass. They scored 24 in their fourth quarter.
9-25.
They're just mad about it.
Yeah.
Right? I loved the Steve Kerr. The
I mean,
whole thing and the story was just incredible.
I didn't know that.
And then obviously the behind the scenes, the footage of him yelling, "I'll be ready! I'll be ready!" That's so funny.
So funny because Jordan's like
It's like
got his
something-
hand over his mouth.
Yeah,
because
it's like
he
something
knows
out of
the
a
cameras
movie.
are there.
Yeah. Like Space Jam.
Obviously, all the flu game stuff. But all right, here, this is what I'm left with. I had real issue with. I understand you got to wrap it all up and the way it was framed, and it was very fascinating because Michael Jordan has never. Everybody, I think, thought he was at peace with walking away in '98, but that whole situation is so much more convoluted than we should have just run it back. They tore this thing up. Because he does kind of leave it like that, right? They tore this up. Of course, this is the greatest travesty ever. And I agree, right? I just feel like there were so many elements to that obviously Jerry Krause is dead, okay? He got a bad deal because I've been around an NBA team with 2 different owners over the course of the last 20 years. And let me tell you something. It's the owner's decision. End of story. It's the owner's decision. He's the one that makes these calls on this stuff. So he don't get to do like the whole I was going to let Jerry do what Jerry wanted to do. Bro, it's your team.
Yeah.
You're the one paying the money. You're the one making the money. Like, it's yours. Okay? So that was all kind of, I don't know, glossed over. The other thing, Rodman was not coming back. Like, that was done.
Yeah.
The hay was already out of the barn on the whole Phil Jackson thing. So you just spent a whole year. He hates the guy. And now Jerry Reinsdorf is going behind his back trying to get him to come back for another year. Like, bro, you just spent a whole year. Like they did at Last Dance. They're burning poems at the end of the thing. I mean, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done, man.
And Scottie Pippen was ready to get paid.
Scottie Pippen
and he was going to get paid.
is already mega resentful.
Yeah.
Okay? The maximum they could have paid him at the time is $14 million. He made $90 million in Houston. So now you've got to convince me that pissed off Scottie Pippen is going to run it back for one more year for $14 million and turn down the 90. And he just had debilitating back thing in the front.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, man.
You're gonna get
the
back.
other thing, and beyond all of this, is there was a damn lockout.
Yeah.
And so, like, there was a million things that go on. Beyond that, there's a great article this morning. Let me find this, where Ramona Shelburne wrote about this morning, and she actually talked to Jerry Reinsdorf, who has now watched it back twice, like the episode twice, about what he missed. He said Jordan reaffirmed he wouldn't play for anybody but Jackson, but he agreed to Reinsdorf's request not to make any final decisions until the owner could make one last run at the coach. It was a Hail Mary, and so what they're going to try to do is they're going to go and try to convince Phil, and then the other ones can fall in line and whatever else. And he said maybe the extra downtime created by the lockout would heal the wounds gashed open in the conflicts with Jackson, Krause, and the players. Maybe Jordan could convince perennial underpaid Pippen to come back on a one-year deal. Maybe Jackson would like the idea of going for a four-peat in a strike-shortened season. It was certainly worth a try, but this time Jackson's answer was different. I asked Phil to come back, Reinsdorf said, and he says, no, it's time. That was the expression he used. It's time. Too much blood had spilled in the war with Krause. Too many goodbyes were already said. As we saw in the final episode of the docuseries, Jackson had even taken the team through a ritual, blah, blah, blah. So Jackson had moved on. The team had moved on. It was time. He says, Reinsdorf knows the question is coming. By now, he can sense when someone is going to ask him why the Bulls broke it up and if he wishes he had done something different. He's watched each episode of The Last Dance at least twice, wondering if something would reveal itself in retrospect. But he always ends up back at the same place. The thing nobody wants to remember, Reinsdorf said, during the lockout, Michael was screwing around with a cigar cutter and he cut his finger. He couldn't have played that year. He had to have surgery on the finger, so even if we could have brought everybody back, it wouldn't have made any sense. Jordan contends he wouldn't have been playing with a cigar cutter if Reinsdorf had already secured a commitment from Jackson to come back, right? But even so, Reinsdorf doesn't think it would have made much difference. Fact is, it's pretty obvious in 98, Michael carried that team. These guys were gassed. He could not have come back because of the cut finger. But even if he could have come back, the other players, Steve Kerr, Luke Longley, Judd Buechler, Dennis Rodman, were going to get offers that were way in excess of what they were worth. And so he says, I know in episode 10, he says, they all would have come back for one more year, but there's not a chance in the world that Scottie Pippen would have come back on a one-year contract when he knew he could get a much bigger deal somewhere else. He ended up getting a $67 million deal from the Houston Rockets that was then used in the sign and trade.
Yeah. No.
That's the biggest what if.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's just presented as matter of fact. It haunts me to this day, 22 years later. I wish we would have run it back. It still doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like if Jerry Krause was alive, he would have said, okay, let it make sense to you. Me and the coach hated each other. Scotty hated everything about it. He almost didn't get him to play at all. And we can't pay him $67 million. So we're offering him 14 after he's just been so mad about being underpaid.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just what we've learned from Jordan. He
has his own version.
Yeah, he has told himself this over and over again. Yeah, I could have gotten all of them to run it back. As long as we got Phil back, I could have convinced the other guys to come back, and I could have done it. And I know I could have done it. I do think they could have won 7. I think they could have won that next one. Hell, that could have been 8. Because if Jordan didn't come back with 10 games left that one season they lost to Orlando, if he would have come back way earlier in the season.
You got to remember, that year, the player, it was like January, and Stern's like, all right, we're just going to cancel this thing. And then the players caved, and then they had a season. They played 50 games in 3 months.
No. I know. But this is what I think. I think they could have won 7. I think they could have.
Possible.
But, like, they also
it was
said
the
in
Knicks
that
that won.
docuseries, it was the Spurs who won.
No, the Knicks won the East.
The Knicks won the East as an
Yeah.
8 seed. The Spurs beat them in the finals, which Phil Jackson later said has an asterisk next to it because it was during a lockout year. But those Shaq and Kobe Lakers were coming.
Yeah.
They were right there around the corner. They were coming. So
It's
that's why I think
fascinating to
they
think
probably I think they probably could have gotten that one more, but after that to me it would have been done.
Yeah,
I
we
think-
finally showed the family show up. So, like, are you cool with your family talking or not? Because I feel like if there were a lot of family in, they didn't sit down there to ask them one question
20 seconds.
about Utah.
Yeah.
I promise you. They had a lot of family footage where they were asked about it, and it was like the guy never had a family at all. And then the family showed up. Like, either leave them all out or, like, don't tease me with that. The daughter shows up. You got the 2 sons. Like, I'd love to hear what they say about their dad.
She's been they've been doing like a press run though. Like,
Oh,
lately.
they've been big on Twitter about their dad.
And they weren't even in The Last Dance.
Yeah.
They were in it less than friggin' Scott Burrell.
Yeah, but
With
they were
the
probably
state
like
getting
not
called a
in.
hoe and crapped on.
Oh, he said, "What if I see you out after the season?
I'm gonna whip your ass.
He tells Ahmad Rashad, when Ahmad Rashad's like, some people can and some people can, he's like, don't talk to Scott Burrell.
So you'll
my
ruin him.
God.
He won't be able to play if you go talk to him.
All right, let's go. All right, the Last Dance concluded on Sunday night. There were all manner. Did you turn my mic off?
No.
Yeah, you did.
No,
now you
mic-
just turned it back up.
No,
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Craig.
Do you want me?
He said yes,
If
you
you
did.
want to know what happened, come back here after the show. I'll give you a tutorial on what I did. Your mic itself was not turned off, but I do have a way to turn you down where you cannot hear yourself. But your mic is still
Why would you
active
do
and
that?
working.
Why would you turn off my headphones?
Because she is controlling the music.
Nah,
Fill in the
you
blank.
control
I was
whatever.
fading the fill in the blank music down. Good
Do it
God.
right.
Good freaking God.
Do it right. Start my music over.
Just
You've
ruined
ruined
the show.
set.
You
Me?
ruined it.
It's not the
With
John
your
Roser
freak
show.
out. Just stay professional and do the
Oh,
bit.
God. Turn my mic on.
As I said before,
She cued
your
the
mic
music
was
up
on.
again.
How am I supposed to know my mic's on? You boner. It's going to sound like my mic's off. If you turn off my headset, it sounds like I got a dead mic.
You fucking the music back.
And here I am telling you to get your shit right. This thing is a damn disaster. All right. The Last Dance finished on Sunday. Your favorite interview subject in The Last Dance was?
Fill in the blank, sucker.
And you cannot say Michael Jordan. Devin.
What?
He said what?
I wish there was.
Fall asleep? I'm telling Lang, I'm bitching at him
I'm
about Grizz
thinking,
Gaming.
I mean, the
I
early
got one guy who
episodes-
can't press the buttons right, another that's falling asleep. This whole thing is a debacle.
I mean,
I'm gonna jump out this window.
I guess just because, like, the early episodes, definitely Jerry Reinsdorf. I mean, Reinsdorf was great in the early ones. You didn't see as much of him during some of the middle episodes.
I'm gonna go. Let's see. Where's that? What's that dude's name? Oh, I'm gonna go with. Was it Ron Harper?
Yeah.
When he said he wanted to guard Jordan for the last second shot, and the coach said, "No, we're gonna let somebody else guard him," and he said, "Well, whatever he said." That was my favorite quote of the whole thing.
Ron Harper.
Yeah, I'll go
All
with
right.
Ron Harper.
I mean, clearly Jordan was the best person interviewed in the thing.
Yeah.
That being said, I wish there had been more. There was one clip that sticks out in my mind of the whole thing when Rodman talked about his rebounding and the way he could read rebounds. You know, there was one clip.
Oh, yeah.
It was like 10 seconds of him being like, well, if he shot this way, I'd go left. It was this, I knew long. That. And I was tweeting about this with some people this week. Like, I wish there was more of that from Rodman and from Pippen, who was, you know, arguably the best defender in the NBA at the time. And Rodman was the best rebounder in the NBA. And there was so little about, like, actually the way they played. It was just all more about the off-court stuff and the contracts and the, you know, Carmen Electra and all that stuff. I wish there had been a little bit more.
Carmen Electra, favorite interviews. Carmen Electra, still got it.
I tell you this, you know, your old buddy David Aldridge, he was great.
He was
on there.
amazing,
He
yeah.
really was. Like to give, you know, to be able to, someone who was there
Well,
covering that whole thing. He was
like
great.
the NBA guy back
Yeah.
then, like the
Oh.
national NBA guy.
There's no question he was.
He was
the
incredible,
NBA guy. He was really good on that thing. I was trying to think if there was any that you didn't name that the Kobe stuff, but that happened so early in the doc.
Yeah.
But that was super cool for it to show up. I was always fascinated with the other guys talking about it, the ones that did, because we didn't get. There's so many people that obviously didn't do it, didn't want to relive it. Like you're not getting a bunch of the Knicks guys talking, and you're not getting a bunch of the
Brian Russell's of the
Reggie
world.
Miller was great.
as was Isaiah
Yeah,
Thomas.
Reggie Miller was good.
Because Isaiah Thomas, like you'll remember that.
Did you see the
right?
clip? I mean, you guys were talking about Karl Malone when I walked in here.
Yep.
The thing of him on Twitter, I guess it wasn't in
Yes.
the documentary
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
screw
But like,
It
if
was
they-
part of a 30 for 30, I think they said.
if they could have gotten him to talk,
I know.
like he's amazing usually in
Yes.
those situations.
Interesting, at least, right? He's at least interesting.
He's also canceled.
There was also a little bit. There was not much of Kukoc in that thing, except for the part like exactly from him. I mean, there was
Yeah,
a lot
right.
about how he got there and all that. But then
Yep.
like he made some big shots and was like a big player on
Oh,
that
yeah.
team, and there wasn't much.
Oh,
about
and of course, Kerr was great too.
it. yeah, that was
Kerr was
great
good.
Because
That was
he
awesome.
told his story so well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And really gave depth to between the fight and the whole father thing. All right. You would be happiest if this person or this artist or group dropped a surprise album tomorrow. Yeah,
Nice.
it would be
in the blank, sucker.
Easy money. J. Cole.
a surprise album
Yes,
tomorrow.
Yes, I would be ecstatic.
That would be make you happiest.
Yes.
Outcast. Easy.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I wonder if they've worked out anything.
Probably got a bunch of music in the chamber somewhere.
I don't think so.
A bunch of Lucy's.
I interviewed Andre for Billboard, was like 3-4 years ago,
Yeah.
and he was like, no, we haven't done anything.
Does he have beef with Billboard like Tekashi does?
I don't know.
Oh, actually, you know what? Tekashi's my answer.
He already put out a
Stop.
song, right?
No, he put a song out, not an album.
No, I'm talking about a surprise
No,
album.
an album.
I'll go the exact opposite, Devin, because rap needs it. Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Tupac.
It'd be great if we
That
got a
would be
Tupac or Biggie
amazing.
album. That'd be great, but yeah. I think Puff Daddy has found everything he can do with Biggie's songs. I think he's put out enough albums.
You think
since
he
he's
has?
been dead. Yeah, he's done enough.
Tupac.
He's done all he can do with them. Kendrick, though.
Memphis updated their schedule. Like the football thing came out. They said they did the thing with Arkansas State and they named it whatever. Okay, I'm going to give you. You could have any school, home and home, football and basketball. I'm telling you, Memphis has its choice. You can pick any school in the country and you get a home and home football and basketball. You would choose.
Fill in the blank, sucker.
Football and basketball.
Any school, you get a home and home with them.
Just because
For both.
I love the rivalry so much, I'm not gonna go like prestige. And I know they played this team in basketball.
This is a great backhanded compliment already. So.
Yeah. Tennessee. Tennessee's mine. I want the Memphis Tennessee. I want that game. I know they play them in basketball, but I want that.
It's not prestigious to play them.
Screw them.
It's an SEC program.
Screw
It
them.
means
You
more.
got a chance with it because it's regional.
Yeah, I want.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to know what I'm saying. Like
a one that
I
would
feel
never
like
happen.
the one. Yeah, I feel like the ones
let
that
me
would
see.
never happen.
Let me
What about like
get it.
UCLA?
Yeah. Well, we did football with them.
Yeah, we did.
We did football with them because Josh Rosen came here, played in that game.
The first two that came to my mind were Notre Dame and North Carolina.
I'll go Florida State.
Because you get Carolina and basketball.
And you could
Yeah.
beat them in football.
It's hard to find a school
You
that's good at
could
both.
beat them before until Mac really gets her on. Like you can beat North Carolina in football. Appalachian State beat North Carolina. Like
How about Florida?
you could beat
Florida's
them right
mine.
now.
Florida's mine.
Florida.
University of Florida. Yeah.
Duke would be good too.
Yeah.
Just because you get the basketball,
Yeah.
right?
And you could beat them in football. I said Notre Dame because Notre Dame's they've always got a pretty good basketball team. Mike Bray's done a great job there. Like, they've got a pretty good
I've
program.
got one.
And then the fact that in football, just having Notre Dame come and play in your stadium would be
I've
awesome.
got one.
Who?
Florida State.
Yeah.
Because you get the Norvell thing too.
Yes.
Right? And their basketball team is loaded.
Leonard Hamilton always keeps some goons.
You know what I
man.
mean? So they got big time program.
If you're 6'5" to 7 feet tall and you're super long and athletic,
Yep.
you go to Florida State.
I mean, those other Big 12 ones would be cool. Oklahoma would be cool. Texas would be
Yeah.
cool.
LSU would be cool.
Yep.
LSU would be dope.
Oh, yeah, because you get basketball, too. So you get to play against Musa Cisse.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Miami,
You got one
if
leg?
they were good anymore.
I thought UCLA. I
UCLA.
yeah. What about Hawaii? Just go to Hawaii. That seems like the dream
play
trip
a
for everybody.
Because you get a home and home.
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
Not
what
a bad one.
What you got, Dev?
All right, so the new feature on Twitter got released yesterday, where you can control who responds to your tweets.
Yes.
I told you about this morning.
Sounds like the greatest thing ever.
It's a great feature. No more trolls. The Twitter feature that needs to come next is
Fill in the blank,
this is an
sucker.
obvious answer.
Yeah, editing, right? So you can
No.
fix your misspelled words. I don't like that though because you
No.
could say I
Yeah.
picked,
Yeah,
then go back
people
later
would
and change
abuse
it.
that.
Yeah, you
I don't
can't
like
use
that.
that
I don't
one.
like
Yeah.
the editing. I don't like the editing.
unless
being
there
able
was
to-
a way where you could like show your edits. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, this tweet has been edited at this time.
That's
or
fine.
show something.
That's fine. If you want to do that, this has been edited. I tell you this, a more robust search feature
yeah.
for me.
Okay.
Because this happened to me last night. I was going back to look for something, and I know I tweeted about it at one point. And I know they have that search feature, and then they, you can break it down by years, whatever, and they have, just a more robust search feature from my own feed.
Yeah.
Like, was something I did, because, this tweet that I was thinking about was probably like I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And it was, I mean, I'll tell you what it was. I was watching Around the Horn, and I had a video that was like, you know, when they're not actually on the
Horn.
Yeah. It's like they're like,
Yeah.
it's almost like they're
talking
outtakes type of thing.
Yeah.
And Bob Ryan absolutely demolished Karl Malone. He was like, Carl, like somebody said, well, what about Karl Malone? I guess they were talking about some list of the best players ever. And he's like, Karl Malone is the biggest waste of athleticism in the history of the NBA. He just went all about him, right? So, of course, that was on last night. And I'm like, man, I wonder if I can find that. I couldn't find the damn thing. At one point, I did. I mean, I searched for Bob Ryan. I was like, I know I tweeted that. Because I remember, you know, it's one of those things where you remember holding your phone up and videoing something.
Yeah.
So, a better search feature. Tony Allen, you are our contestant this week on Do They Have a Ring?
Do you got a ring? Do you got a ring?
Tony always has much more respect for anyone that has a ring. In fact, he says that's a champion. Right?
Yep.
All right. Let's start very easy for you.
Let's go.
Your first player on Do They Have a Ring, Gabe Pruitt.
Gabe Pruitt definitely has a ring. 2008. Yes, indeed.
2008 Boston Celtics. Gabe Pruitt is an NBA champion.
I gotta get some of that type of music when I get them right now.
Adam Morrison.
Adam Morrison played at Gonzaga. Am I correct?
He did.
He do have a ring.
With who?
Gonzaga.
No. An NBA championship ring.
Oh, NBA championship ring? Did they win the title one year?
They didn't win in Gonzaga. No,
they didn't. The Lakers.
Two-time champion Adam Morrison.
Yeah. That's my boy.
That's
And he is an overachiever, bro. Because it was something weird with him. Like, he had some type of thing with deal with him. We'll get back to that, but he is an overachiever. Shout out to Adam Morrison, man. I got a lot of respect for you, man. Your game was nice in Gonzaga. What up, champ?
Dikembe
Mutombo do not have a ring.
Dikembe Mutombo does not have a championship ring.
Which makes first team all defense. I mean, not the first team all the
finger wag
is the Hall of Fame.
Wait, you just changed it? You tried to take his title. You tried to take his title. You said that makes first team all defense greater than the finger wag.
No, I wasn't.
Because you have a ring.
No.
100%.
He a Hall of Famer, man. What are you talking about?
Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin does not have an NBA ring.
Jeremy Lin won one with the Raptors last year.
Did
he? He only appeared in 8 playoff games.
Oh, man.
You mentioned him earlier, Tim Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway do not have a NBA ring.
Tim Hardaway does not have a championship ring. That is correct. 5-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA. And how about this? When he did this is an underrated guy. At the time he did it, he was the second fastest player ever to 5,000 points and 2,000 assists behind Oscar Robertson. His career averages in 14 seasons, 17.7 points per game, 8.2 assists per game, 1.6 steals per game. Tim Hardaway had a hell of a career. 4-time All-NBA. Were you ever around him, given the Chicago thing?
I got a story for Tim Hardaway, too.
What?
He used to run this little private hoop session at Foster Park. It's a little park in Chicago. And he used to let me come up there when I was like, I want to say like high school.
High school?
Maybe freshman, 8th grade, sophomore year. He used to have me come up there. It'd be nothing but NBA players and pro college players, ex-college players, and everybody who played the game, he had run a set every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock a.m.
Was he cool?
Cool as a fan.
How about that?
Cool. Big shout out to Tim Hardaway and your son doing this thing too right now too. So big shout out to the Hardaway family.
Beno Udrih.
Beno Udrih is a 2-time NBA champion with the Spurs.
Wow, and your former teammate.
And my former teammate. Big shout out to Beno, man. Beno, man, hit me up, man. Call me, man. DM me or something, man. I miss you, man.
Current Memphis Grizzly, assuming they come back, Anthony Tolliver.
Anthony Tolliver.
This is a very difficult one. Anthony has played for 17 different teams.
Anthony Tolliver has never won an NBA championship ring.
He has never won an NBA championship ring. That is correct. Brandon Rush.
Brandon Rush played with the Golden State Warriors the first year in 2015, and he won an NBA championship.
That
ring.
is true. Brandon Rush was on the 14-15 Warriors.
You wanna know how I know? Because in 13-14, the Warriors won nothing. We 4-0'd them, and remember they had Monte Ellis that year?
And Brandon Rush.
Yeah, Brandon Rush.
And he didn't play the next year.
They had Steph Curry too, though. But you know,
Tracy McGrady.
Tracy McGrady is the only Hall of Famer that I know without a ring.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
No, I'm saying the most notables.
No, Charles Barkley and Karl Malone don't have rings.
Patrick Ewing doesn't have a ring.
John Stockton doesn't have a ring.
But I mean, I probably said it wrong.
Reggie Miller doesn't have a ring.
I probably said it wrong. I never played with Karl Malone and Charles Barkley.
Okay.
In my era.
You played against McGrady.
I played against McGrady.
You know what's crazy?
See, I cleaned that up.
Yeah. You clean that up.
He was on the 13 Spurs, but they lost in Game 7 to the Miami Heat.
Oh,
How about
he was
that?
on that team.
He was on that team because I thought he had a ring. He was on the team that lost in Game 7. How about this? He played in China during the year. Then they added him to the end of the season and the playoffs, so he was on that team. It was the first time he ever played a minute outside of a first round of the playoffs.
Wow.
Can you believe that? In all his seasons, he had never played a minute past the first round.
Well, there was the one year they had the 3-1 lead on the Pistons in the first round, and then they blew it.
Yep. I guess you caught peak T-Mac. You really did, right? Around, 04, 05? Something like that? Your rookie year would have probably been when he was 30-point-per-game guy.
He was always hurt, though. He's always hurt.
He was hurt a lot. 04-05, McGrady averaged 25.7 a game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals.
What was
How
his
many
huge
games
year?
he played?
His huge year was 02-03. He averaged 32 a game.
My God.
That was his only season over 30 points a game. He averaged 32.
But I'm saying, when he
How many
averaged-
games did
in
he play?
04, 05, how many games did he play?
In 02-03, he played 75 games. 04-05, he played 78 games.
Oh, it doesn't look like you're onto something here. It was
The
really
following season, he played 47 games, then 71, 66, 35, 30.
That's a lot of games. That sound like TH. That sound like TH. That sound like the game. Same amount of games I missed. No cap.
And you said he's always hurt? You feel bad about that? You feel bad saying
He
he's
Hall
always
of
hurt
Fame.
and he was...
He Hall of Fame. I can't say nothing bad about him.
PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker from the Houston Rockets. I played against him in the Big 12. If you look on YouTube, I got a move. I hit him with a crossover. No, that wasn't him. That wasn't him. I beat his team.
Texas was his team.
Texas was his team. Royal Ivy got in that crossover. and then Royal Ivy. And PJ Tucker does not have a ring.
He does not. He does not.
Y'all got to make this a little more easier, man. I know everything about the NBA, man. I'm telling you. What you want to know?
Brian Cardinal.
Brian Cardinal. He robbed the league with no mask. He got $35 million.
Okay. From the Grizzlies.
From the Grizzlies. He robbed them. But listen, he does not have a ring.
Yes, he does. The 10-11 Mavericks.
Oh!
Let's go. Right when
Hey, all due respect, man. Put some respect on Brian Cardinal's name, man.
I'm going to put a dent in your Rolls Royce when I get
Oh,
out.
no, I got to get a ding on the Rose.
You started talking too
He
soon,
did.
TA. You started talking too soon.
So I gotta bite my words now. So I gotta bite my words now.
You bragging a little bit.
I gotta bite my words now.
By the way, also the owner of a Rolls Royce, Brian Cardinal. I'm kidding.
Man.
Probably got like 8 of them.
B Cardinal. Big shout out to Brian Cardinal, man.
Scott Pollard.
Scott Pollard is definitely an NBA champion. 2008.
There you go. I was hoping I could find somebody that you forgot that was on your team.
Nah, you're not gonna
That's
get
why I named
Coleon.
Gabe Pruitt and,
No, sir.
and Scott Pollard.
The only when I think of Scott Pollard, the only thing I think of is when he had to apologize because I think they were playing a nationally televised game.
They were.
Yeah, and the camera comes on him and he goes, "Hi kids, do drugs."
Yeah.
It
was 07.
Yeah, he had to apologize.
It was the
for
year
it.
before. He said,
Hey kids,
told kids to do drugs.
do drugs. Yeah, it was like live on TNT.
Do you remember anything about Scott Pollard?
Yeah. He wore his hair wild.
Samurai.
Like he was just.
He did the bun on the top, like the samurai bun.
Yeah, he just did. Like you could tell that when he go home, he's in his own world.
Did you ever hang out with Scott Pollard one time?
I wanted to hang out with Scott Pollard.
I bet you did.
I wanted to, but I mean, he was
Seems
just
like
out.
a fun guy.
Like when you get in town, he doing his own thing. So it's like it was hard.
He was off.
Yeah. Not off, like he was off to doing his own thing.
But he wasn't even hanging out with Scalabrini. The white guys didn't even run together.
You'll catch them at the breakfast meet.
The breakfast meeting. Garrett Temple.
Garrett Temple. Garrett Temple is a great two-way player. Never won a championship.
He did not win a championship ring. That is correct. All right. 2 more. Ian Mahinmi.
Ian Mahinmi did win the team.
Ian Mahinmi.
Man, look at Ian Mahinmi. Look at him. That's finna fall right out the league. Look at him. Look at him. Just look at him. Man, all I can say is, just tell me some of the teams he played on.
No. Where did he win a ring?
I know. Tell me. All right. That'll defeat the purpose, right? Washington paid him all that money. Washington paid him a whole lot of money. I know that.
You said
He was
won a ring.
he was in Indiana before that, right?
You said he won a ring.
No, I didn't say he won a ring.
Yes, you did.
No,
you
I
said
didn't.
Ian Mahinmi won a ring. Oh, you're saying he didn't now?
I'm saying I'm trying to backtrack. I know he just got his big payday with Washington. He was with Indiana first, right? Mm-hmm. Now my whole thing is trying to figure out, did he play before Indiana? If he didn't play before Indiana, can you give me that question? I mean that
He did play before Indiana.
he played before.
That was
Indiana?
not his first team.
That wasn't his first team.
No. And I think you feel Washington will be his last.
And I know damn well he went no Washington. I know damn well he went no Washington. Hey, I know damn well he went nothing with Washington. But I tell you what, if I had to bet on Hemi, I'ma say he won a championship with Dallas Mavericks. Not? No? No? That's right.
Who told you that?
Appreciate y'all upstairs.
Somebody say it in our ear?
No, because we'd all be able to hear it. There's no way they could just talk to him and not talk to us.
Yo, son, y'all not finna discredit. I just went deep down in the library.
No, I did not.
Library right here, bro. It's an NBA library right
He
here.
never
bro.
even played for the Mavericks.
Well, in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Heat, with Dallas leading the series 3-2, Mahimi collected a crucial offensive rebound in the closing seconds of the third quarter.
How did you get
and
that?
then hit the buzzer-beating shot at the end of the third.
Hey man, listen. Hey man.
Who
say,
told
man.
him that?
Hey man, say man. I got an NBA library
Is it on
stored
his
right
phone?
here.
Where's his phone?
Son, my phones are right here, but one of,
You
they
just
both
said-
dead.
you
He
just
got
said-
one of them.
You just said you didn't remember him playing before Indiana, and then all of a sudden you conjured up the 10-11 Mavericks.
Son, your list should have been a little harder than what it is, son.
Well, because
I can't
here's
help it.
here's what he did. Here's what he did. He knows he didn't play for. So if you said, did he play before that? Did he play before the Pacers? So he knows he didn't play for Miami. He knows he didn't play for the Celtics, and
Right.
he didn't play for the Lakers, who were the only teams that won championships during that time.
Yep. So, but now
Other
look,
than
even to add
Dallas.
to
So
that,
if he won one, he knew you got to pair that down, and you know if he won one, it
Exactly.
had to be the Mavericks.
So now, and I know for sure he wasn't on the Heat with LeBron now. He wouldn't have made it. Trust
and he
me.
wasn't on his Celtics teams,
So now,
and he didn't play for the Lakers.
All right, two more. Chris Mullin.
Chris Mullin is a Hall of Fame lefty. He went,
Five-time All-Star, 3 All-NBAs.
he went to Rutgers College.
St.
He went to St. John's.
I mean St. John's.
Sometimes the encyclopedia goes off a little bit.
Hey, same area, New York area.
That's
They're
right.
right
Yeah,
there.
you
They're
know what
right
I'm
there.
talking
New
about.
York, New Jersey. Who
Yeah,
cares?
they're right there.
But Chris Mullin did not
He
win
did
a
not.
ring.
He did not. All right. Eddie Curry.
Big shout out to Eddie Curry.
Chicago guy.
Big shout out to Eddie Curry because he went out of high school. He turned Thornwood up. He gave guys like myself motivation to get to the NBA.
You were older than him.
I'm older than him. Somehow I'm older than him. Hold on.
Are you? Am I wrong?
You're older than Eddie Curry. Not by much. You are older than Eddie Curry.
Y'all crazy.
No, not kidding you. You are older than Eddie Curry by like 35 days, 36 days.
Ooh, that, all right.
You're older than Eddie Curry by a month.
Yo, all right, yeah. Go
Gave
ahead
me
on, man.
motivation to get
Go
to the
ahead,
league.
go ahead on. No, all right, look, I'm saying this. All right, let me
What
just
year
run
was
it.
his draft though? Because he got drafted out of high school.
Yeah,
and Tony
he came out of high
was-
school. He was in the 2001 draft.
And Tony was still at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Or actually, he was at junior college. So though he was not older than you, he was in the league 3
Before
years
me.
before. So
How-
he did give you
However,
motivation.
I'm looking at dude, I'm like, yo, we all know the same people. Chicago Hoopers,
Yep.
we all know the same people. So I'm like, if Eddie Curry could do it, for sure I could do it.
So
you know what I mean?
when you see Eddie Curry, do you say, "What's up, champ? Did he get a ring?"
For sure he got a ring.
With who?
With Miami.
How is he cheating?
Appreciate y'all upstairs, man.
As part
Oh,
of
she is feeding it. Is she feeding into your
What's
ear?
her
no,
name anyway?
you would
What's
be
her name?
you
What's her
would be
name?
you would be able to hear it.
What's her name?
Kimball.
Kimball. Appreciate you, Kimball.
She isn't giving him anything. You'd be able to hear it. She can't just talk to him. If she talks, it comes to all of us.
I do not believe that Tony didn't even know that he was older than Eddie Curry.
He knew he,
I don't believe he knew he was on the.
he knew he played for the Heat.
How? How did anybody know
Hey,
Eddie
okay,
Curry
I
was
got
on the
the cheat code,
2012 Heat?
Eddie Curry didn't deserve. Dude,
He
We
didn't
gotta thank
play.
our girl upstairs, man.
during the Heat.
Shout out to my girl Kim.
2011-12 championship team, Eddie Curry played
Appreciate
83 minutes all season in 14 games, started one, and he was active but did not play in a single game during the playoffs.
And yet Tony knows he's a champion of the 2012 Heat. NBA champion Eddie Curry. I had no idea he had
And
a
that
ring.
sealed his career, like, cause he was dominant as a
Sealed
center.
his career.
Like, listen,
he played 83 minutes the whole season.
that sealed his career. All right, listen to this. listen to this. If they told Charles Barkley, you come out of retirement, sit on this bench for 10 days.
No.
We're going to win the championship. You think Charles Barkley ain't going to take that?
No, they won. I don't think he would. We're watching Vince
Well,
Carter.
you're right. These
Vince
brothers
Carter
already in
doesn't
the Hall
wanna
of
do
Fame. You're right. These brothers already in the Hall of Fame.
Vince Carter doesn't
you're
want
right.
to. Sealed Eddie Curry's career. He didn't even have a career.
He did, bro. He got a ring.
Played for the
He got a ring.
Oh, stop. So Adam Morrison's got 2.
Hey, Eddie Curry had some good years.
That's what I'm saying. Put some respect on Shaq-Town, man.
1, 2, 3, 4,
those are
5.
Shaq
He
Town
had
years in
6 straight
Chicago.
seasons averaging double figures.
Those are
How many
70
rebounds?
Those are 70 lost Knicks teams.
In
Get out of my
06-07,
face.
the 06-07 Knicks, he played 81 games, averaged 19.5 points,
Look
and
how many
7
games they
rebounds
won.
a game.
How many games they win?
I mean, the Knicks have been the losingest franchise
How many
of
games
the
they
2000s.
win? If Eddie Curry averages 19 for you, you didn't win nothing. Nothing.
2006, 2007 New York Knicks. They went 33-49.
That's good in the East. That's finishing up 7 right there. That's finishing up 7. That's good in the East. You had the owners and the people, they coming back like, hey man, just take care of your bodies, man. Good
In
year.
fairness, I apologize. I would, if you gave me an over-under for the most points he ever averaged in a year, I would have said like 12. I had
Eddie,
no idea he had a 19-point
man, he was a monster.
in high
In
school.
high school. Chicago Bulls year with him and Tyson Chandler was
Terrible.
His last season in Chicago, he averaged 16 a game.
Is that right? They went.
well, I'm always stand up for my Shaq-Town guys anyway, so
Isaiah Thomas went and got him.
They won.
he did, didn't he?
The 04-05 Bulls went. They went 47-35 that year. When he averaged 16 a game, they went 47-35.
Who else was on the team?
Quentin Richardson.
Tyson Chandler, Eddie Curry, Antonio Davis, Luol Deng, Chris Duhon. Shout out to Lawrence Funderburk.
I like Luol Deng. And hey, they got Antonio Davis, a real vet.
Ben Gordon was a rookie.
Yep.
Adrian Griffin, Othello Harrington, Kirk Heinrich. Andre
talking about the
Snocioni was also a rookie.
Oh.
Jeremy Pargo, Eric Piatkowski,
Andre Nocioni.
and then a couple of guys you
Man.
don't
I
really know.
love him.
But hey, all those
Dude.
dudes you know,
Hey.
and they have careers.
Hey, I'm going to tell you a great story about him. Andre Snocioni. The first thing that year when Chris Wallace got the job here, the first thing he did was went over to Argentina during free agency to try to convince Nocioni to come to the Grizzlies, right? And he had to go track him down. Where's he from? He's from
Argentina.
Argentina. Do you know what the guy was doing? Boar hunting. Wild boar. All right? I'm talking huge, like, angry pigs. Boars.
With tusks.
Yes. Like in teeth. And he was fighting them. He was hunting them with a knife. This dude hunted wild boar with a knife. That's when you know you gotta. He's not to be trifled with. If you can run out and catch a wild boar and stab it to death, and that's how you're. Who hunts like that? It's ridiculous. That's like, you know what I mean? That's like, I don't know, like you wish you could stab somebody and you can't stab somebody, so you go stab wild boar.
He was tough as nails, I can't say.
Hey, Eddie.
Bro, how many guys in the NBA do you think I could stick in a field with a knife, hand it to him, and say, go kill that boar?
They're all European.
Like
Not too many.
Eastern European, like
Valanciunas
Valanciunas could do it.
But Valanciunas for
Valanciunas
sure.
could do it.
It looked like that's something he do now anyway. Like, just taking a glance at him like I would assume that. Just
Guaranteed.
looking at him. Like he do some type of
No, he does. He does do that kind of stuff. What was it that he said? We ended up having to pull it from the interview.
That's what he does.
Was it boar?
Yeah, he hunts wild boar
Yeah.
with a knife.
Yeah, like
They didn't
like,
want all the PETA people
like I could
and
see
all
him
the.
coming out of somewhere like dressed like one of those Street Fighter characters with a bow and arrow on the back of him. He pull it out.
No, he just has a knife.
Like,
he has
just
a
a
knife.
knife?
Yeah, and they just get up to him and
Just
he.
stab it. They that gangster.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, Eastern Europeans, man, these dudes.
I might have to give him the Marty Marr respect when I walk past him.
I mean, if you. That's what I'm saying. I can't think of like
He a rough guy. I ain't know that.
like even who we consider to be tough. Pat Bev ain't stabbing no boar.
No.
No, I
You know
just
what I
saw
mean?
Pat
You
Bear.
don't go wild
I just
boar
saw
hunting in
Pat Bear when
America.
I was in Chicago.
You
man.
did?
Yeah. He had on some skinny jeans with a tight sweater on, man. So he getting into fashion now. So I don't think he just.
Oh, he's moving different.
Yeah, he moving different. I thought I was gonna see him with some Timberland boots on, some 501 jeans and a hoodie. For real, I thought I was gonna see him with some Timberland boots on, some 501 jeans and a hoodie.
We could be wearing FUBU or something?
No, I just thought he'd be a little more rough around the edges looking. But you know,
Where'd you see him?
I saw him in Chicago.
Out
Yes,
about?
in Chicago, and I'm like,
And when you ran up on him, did you comment on him?
I told him his jeans was so tight I could read his credit card. That's all I told him. Cracked a little wisecrack on him. But that's my homeboy, man. My boy. But I don't think
He's moving different.
He's
LA
the tough
now.
guy. He the tough guy, but I think he tone it down when he get off the court. Like
He's suave.
suave.
Yeah, okay.
Big shout out to Pat Bear, man.
So the question is there anybody in the NBA that we could think of that is not Eastern European that we would feel confident with a wild boar in a field, armed with a knife, would kill the boar?
I know.
Oh.
What's the dude named Biombo? Biombo. Biombo will tear some pork ass up, man. I'm telling you. Oh, Biombo. Yeah, man, play with Biombo. Biombo will come get you. I'm telling you. Do not trap Biombo, man. You put a knife in Biombo and run. Pigs, dogs, horses. Just run. For real, man. Hard as he set fouls and picks, man. Hey, man. Then you gotta look at him. He got a face for radio.
Oh my God.
All right, come on, man. That's enough for me today, man. Let me get out of here, man.
Who is stabbing a horse?
This has been the best of the Chris Vernon Show, presented by Direct Auto Insurance. Tune in to the live show daily at noon or on demand by heading over to grindcitymedia.com or Grind City Media on YouTube.